Hello, Cove family. So I'm coming to you today as Coach Paula. I have something that is a tool that I use quite often in coaching, and I want to share it with you in regards to December or going through the holidays, and something that I use quite a bit in coaching, and I use it on myself as well. And it's this whole idea of this results cycle. I'm gonna show you this little thing that we're gonna do, a little exercise. We're doing exercises today. This is an exercise of how our thinking affects us and gives us results based on how we're thinking. Our thinking is really important to be checking in and seeing if what our thinking is, is it what God's wanting us to think, and is it helpful? Are we getting the results that we're wanting? Ultimately, for all of us, I'm thinking through the holidays or wanting the results for you, figuring out, what do I want? I want a peaceful holiday. I want to see God move in my life. I want to walk in just his calling on my life and all of those things. And if I want those results, then I have to change what goes on in here. And so here's kind of a cycle that I use to describe that. So this right here, this first circle, is what I believe, what I'm thinking. What is the belief that I have? If I have a negative thought about myself, if I think, I'm just really not a person that is people like, maybe I've got these faults or whatever, and so I have this belief about myself, maybe this self-doubt about myself. What that's going to actually do is affect this next circle, which is our behavior. If I believe something, then I'm going to behave a certain way. I believe that I just am have a lot of faults, and maybe I believe that things are just always harder for me, and I always just seem to get dealt the bad hand. I believe that. Then what will happen in my behaviors? I'm going to start to behave in that way. I will behave that way with people. I will come into situations and things with that belief in my mind. And then what happens with that is it actually then starts to affect my relationships. My relationships will, because I'm behaving in that way, I'll begin to have relationships that, see, I am walking this way, and now my relationships are tainted in this way because and so my relationships do get affected by that. And then the last circle is, this is kind of like a flannel graph story. I should have done that. Is the results that we get. The results then, if I believe this way about myself, I behave a certain way, my relationships are then tainted by that, affected by that, and then the results are, see, I just always seem to have these bad things happen to me. Then what that does then reinforces my belief. See, that's why I believe that. And this cycle goes on and on and on and on. And sometimes it can be so hard to know, how do I get out of that? How do I get out of this cycle of bad thinking? And so I really believe that if I change this, if I change my thinking, I'm going to change my behavior. If my behavior changes, then my relationships are going to change. And in that, I'm going to get different results. And again, that's going to reinforce my thinking and what I believe inside. And so changing what you think, what goes on in your head, becomes super important through the holidays. So what is it that you're wanting to think? What is it? For me, one of the things that came out for me this week is this relationship between Mary and Elizabeth. When Mary was with child, she goes to visit Elizabeth. And I never noticed this before, but Elizabeth's response to her was, who am I? How do I have such favor that the mother of God would come visit me? Like, she had such a positive way of thinking of God's favor. And that literally, when I read that a few days ago, that's what I've been doing. That's my thing that I'm doing all month of December. Every morning I'm sitting down and I'm writing this thought: how am I so favored that and then I fill in the blank of what amazing blessing that I have in my life. The first day it was that I was able to raise two incredibly beautiful, amazing boys that are now these incredible men. Who am I that God would give me favor to have have that amazing responsibility and privilege in life. And so now I'm looking for some of those big things, some things that are smaller, but ways to practice a new way of thinking. Not a negative way of thinking, but a new way of thinking, so that the cycle can be reinforced in my mind and becomes a part of who I am. So that's it for the day. I hope you all have an amazing December. I pray that God meets you in powerful and amazing ways as He does, and does more than you could ever imagine, as you allow Him to move, change how you're thinking, and watch to see what He will do in your life. All right, have a great rest of your day. Love you all. Bye.